हेलो दोस्तों, बिगनर्स पॉइंट में आपका स्वागत है। और अभी हम कर रहे हैं इकोनॉमिक्स चैप्टर नया स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। 4 3 से पहले कर चुके हैं, प्लेलिस्ट बना रखी है, नहीं देखे हैं तो देख लो। 9 से लेकर के 12 तक की इकोनॉमिक्स कंप्लीट। द थ्योरी ऑफ द फर्म अंडर परफेक्ट कंपटीशन। In the previous chapter, we studied concepts related to a firm's production function and cost curves. The focus of this chapter is different. Here we ask, how does a firm decide how much to produce? Our answer to this question is by no means simple or uncontroversial. We base our answer on a critical, if somewhat unreasonable, assumption about firm behavior. A firm we maintain is ruthless profit maximizer. So the amount that a firm produces and sells in the market is that which maximizes its profit. Here we also assume that the firm sells whatever it produces, so that output and quantity sold are often used interchangeably. The structure of this chapter is as follows. We first set up and examine in detail the profit maximization problem of a firm. Then, we derive a firm's supply curve. The supply curve shows the levels of output that a firm chooses to produce at different market prices. Finally, we studied how to aggregate the supply curve of individual firms and obtain the market supply curve. Perfect competition define features. In order to analyze a firm's profit maximization problem, we must first specify the market environment in which the firm functions. In this chapter, we study a market environment called perfect competition. A perfectly competitive market has the following def- defining features. The market consists of a large number of buyers and sellers. Each firm produces and sells a home homogeneous product, that is, the product of one firm cannot be differentiated from the product of any other firm. Entry into the market as well as exit from the market are free for firms. Information is perfect. The existence of a large number of buyers and sellers means that each individual buyer and seller is very small compared to the size of the market. This means that no individual buyer or seller can influence the market by their size. Homogeneous products further means that the product of each firm is identical, so a buyer can choose to buy from any firm in the market and she gets the same product. Free entry and exit means that it is easy for firm to enter the market as well as to leave it. This condition is essential for the large numbers of firms to exist. If entry was difficult or restricted, then the number of firms in the market could be small. Perfect information implies that all buyers and all sellers are completely informed but about the price, quality, and other relevant details about the product as well as the market. These features results in the single most distinguishing characteristic of perfect competition, price taking behavior. क्या competition है? Price taking behavior. From the viewpoint of a firm, what does price taking entail? A price taking firm believes that if it sets a price above the market price, it will be unable to sell any quantity of the good that it produces. On the other hand, should the set price be less than or equal to the market price, the firm can sell as many units of the good as it wants to sell. From the viewpoint of a buyer, what does price taking entail? A buyer would obviously like to buy the good at the lowest possible price. However, a price taking buyer believes that if she asks for a price below the market price, no firm will be willing to sell to her. On the other hand, should the price asked be greater than or equal to the market price, the buyer can obtain as many units of the good as she desired to buy. Price taking is often through to be a reasonable assumption when the market has many firms and buyers have perfect information about the price prevailing in the market. Why? Let us start with a situation where each firm in the market charges the same market price. Suppose now that a certain firm raises its price of the market price. Observe that since all firms produce the same good and all buyers are aware of the market price, the firm in question loses all its buyers. Furthermore, as these buyers switch their purchases to other firms, no adjustment problems arise. Their demand is readily accommodated when there are so many other firms in the market. Recall now that an individual firm's inability to sell any amount of the good at a price exceeding the market price is precisely what the price taking assumption stipulate. इसका क्या मतलब है? इसका मतलब हो जाएगा निर्धारित करता है.
निर्धारित करता है. Stipulates.
अब आ जाते हैं revenue. We have indicated that in a perfectly competitive market, a firm believes that it can sell as many units of the good as it wants by setting a price less than or equal to the market price. If this is in the but if this is the case, surely there is no reason to set a price lower than the market price. In other words, should the firm desire to sell some amount of the good, the price that it sets is exactly equal to the market price. A firm earns revenue by selling the good that it produces in the market. Let the market price of a unit of the good be P. Let Q be, be the quantity of the good produced and therefore sold by the firm at price P. Then total revenue or TR of the firm is defined as the market price of the good P multiplied by the firm's output Q. Hence, TR equals to P into Q. To make matters concrete, consider the following numerical example. Let the market for candles be perfectly competitive and let the market price of a box of candles be rupees 10. For a candle manufacturer, table 4.1 shows how total revenue is related to output. Notice that when no box is sold, TR is equal to 0. If one box of candles is sold, TR is equal to 1 into rupees 10. Rupees equal to rupees 10. If two boxes of candles are produced, TR is equal to 2 into rupees 10 is equal to 20 and so on. We can deposit how the total revenue changes as the quantity sold changes through a total revenue curve. A total revenue curve plots plot the quantity sold or output on the x-axis and the revenue earned on the y-axis. Figure 4.1 shows the total revenue curve of a firm. Three observations are relevant here. First, where the output is 0, the total revenue of the firm is also 0. Therefore, the TR curve passes through point O. Second, the total revenue increases as the output goes up. Moreover, the equation TR equals to P into Q is that of a straight line because P is constant. This means that the TR curve is an upward rising straight line like this. Third, consider the slope of this straight line when the output is 1 unit horizontal distance OQ1 in figure 4.1. OQ1 ये वाली लाइन. The total revenue vertical height AQ1 in figure 4.1 is P into 1 is equal to P. Therefore, the slope of the straight line is AQ1 divided by OQ1 equals to P. ठीक है. The average revenue AR of a firm is defined as total revenue per unit of output. Recall that if a firm's output is Q and the market of price P, then TR equals P into Q. Hence, AR equals to TR divided by Q is equal to PQ divided by Q. Q से Q कट जाएगा is equal to क्या बचेगा P. ऐसे इधर P क्या है ये इधर प्राइस लाइन. In other words, for a price taking firm, average revenue equals the market price. Now consider 4.2. Here we plot the average revenue or market price y-axis for different values of a firm output x-axis. Since the market price is fixed at P, we obtain a horizontal straight line that cuts the y-axis at a height of equal to P. This horizontal straight line is called the price line. It is also the firm's AR curve under perfect competition. The price line also deposits the demand curve facing a firm. Observe that the demand curve is perfectly elastic. This means that a firm can sell as many units of the good as it wants to sell at price P. The The marginal revenue (MR) of a firm is defined as the increase in total revenue for a unit increase in the firm's output. Consider table 4.1 again. Total revenue from the sale of 2 boxes of candles is rupees 20. Total revenue from the sale of 3 boxes of the candle is rupees 30. Marginal revenue (MR) change in total revenue is equal to 30 minus 20 divided by 3 minus 2 is equal to 10. Change in quantity. Is it a coincidence that this is the same as the price? Actually, it is not. Consider the situation when the firm's output changes from Q1 to Q2 given the market price P. MR equals to P Q2 minus P Q1 divided by Q2 minus Q1. तो आंसर टोटल इक्वेशन जब करेंगे तो फिर क्या आ जाएगा एम आर इज इक्वल टू पी. Thus, for the perfectly competitive firm, MR is equal to AR is equal to P. In other words, for a price-taking firm, marginal revenue equals the market price. Setting the algebra aside, the intuition for this result is quite simple. When a firm increases its output by 1 unit, this extra unit is sold at the market price. Hence, the firm's increase in total revenue from the 1 unit output expansion, that is, MR, is precisely the market price. Profit maximization: a firm produces a sells a certain amount of a good. The firm's profit, denoted by pi, is defined to be the difference between its total revenue (TR) and its total cost of production (TC). In other words, pi equals to TR minus TC. Clearly, the gap between TR and TC is the firm's earnings net of cost. A firm wishes to maximize its profit. The firm would like to identify the quantity Q1, Q0 at which its profits are maximum. By definition, then, at any quantity other than Q0, the firm's profits are less than at Q0. The critical question is, how do we identify Q0? For profits to be maximum, three conditions must hold at Q0. The price P must equal MC. Marginal cost must be non-decreasing at Q0. For the firm to continue to produce in the short run, price must be greater than the average variable cost. P is greater than AVC. In the long run, price must be greater than the average cost. P is greater than AC. Condition 1. Profits are the difference between total revenue and total cost. Both total revenue and total cost increase as output increases. Notice that as long as the change in total revenue is greater than the change in total cost, profits will continue to increase. Recall that change in total revenue per unit increase in output is the marginal revenue, and the change in total cost per unit increase in output is the marginal cost. Therefore, we can conclude that as long as marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, profits are increasing. By the same logic, as long as marginal revenue is less than marginal cost, profits will fall. It follows that for profits to be maximum, marginal revenue should equal marginal cost. In other words, profits are maximum at the level of output which we have called Q0, for which MR equals to MC. For the perfectly competitive firm, we have established that the MR equals to P. So the firm's profit maximizing output becomes the level of output at which P equals to MC. Condition 2. Consider the second condition, that must hold when the profit maximizing output level is positive. Why is it the case that the marginal cost curve cannot slope? It is a convention in economics to denote profit with the Greek letter pi. Downwards at the profit maximizing output level. To answer this question, refer once again for figure 4.3. Note that note that at output levels Q1 and Q4, the market price is equal to the marginal cost. However, at the output level Q1, the marginal cost curve is downward and sloping. We claim that Q1 cannot be a profit maximizing output level. Why? Observe that for all output levels slightly to that the left of Q1, the market price is lower than the marginal cost, but the argument outlined in section 4.3.1 immediately implies that the firm's profit at an output level slightly smaller than Q1 exceeds that corresponding to the output level Q1. This being the case, Q1 cannot be profit maximizing output level. ठीक है, प्राइस मार्जिनल कॉस्ट इधर आ जाएगा, आउटपुट इधर है और कर्व कुछ इस तरीके से बनेगा. कंडीशन 3, consider the third condition that must hold when the profit maximizing output level is positive. Notice that the third condition has two parts. One part applies in the short run while the other applies in long run. Case 1, price must be greater than or equal to ABC in the short run. We will show that the statement of case 1 C above is true by arguing that a profit maximizing firm in the short run will not produce at an output level where in the market price lower than ABC. Let us turn to figure 4.4. Observe that at the output level Q1, the market price P is lower than the ABC. We claim that Q1 cannot be a profit maximizing output level. Why? Notice that the firm's total revenue at Q1 is as follow. TR equals to price into quantity, vertical height OP into width OQ1, the area of rectangle OPAQ1. Price ABC relationship with the profit maximization short run. The future is used to demonstrate that a profit maximizing firm produces zero output in the short run when the market price P is less than the minimum of its average variable cost ABC. If the firm's output level is Q1, the firm's total variable cost exceeds its revenue by an amount equal to the area of rectangle PEBA. Similarly, the firm's total variable cost at Q1 is follow as TVC equals to average variable cost और इसी को मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे हम क्वांटिटी में. ठीक है, TVC equals to average variable cost into quantity, vertical height OE into width OQ1, the area of rectangle OEBQ1. Now recall that the firm's profit at Q1 is TR minus TVC plus TFC, that is the area of rectangle OPAQ1 minus the area of rectangle OEBQ1 minus TFC. What happens if the firm produces zero output? Since output is zero, TR, TVC are zero as well. Hence, the firm's profit at zero output is equal to minus TFC, but the area of rectangle OPAQ1 is strictly less than the area of rectangle OEBQ1. Hence, the firm's profit at Q1 is area EBAP minus TFC, which is strictly less than what is obtained by not producing at all. So, the firm will choose not to produce at all and exit from the market. Price must be greater than or equal to AC in the long run. We will show that the statement of case 2c above is true by arguing that a profit maximizing firm in the long run will not produce at an output level wherein the market price is lower than AC. Let us turn to figure 4.5. Observe that at the output level Q1, the market price P is lower than the long run AC. We claim that Q1 cannot be profit maximizing output level Y. प्राइस और कॉस्ट और आउटपुट, ठीक है, ये ऐसे कर्व बनेगा और इसमें एल आर ए सी में ऐसे बनेगा. Price AC relationship with profit maximization long run. The figure is used to demonstrate that a profit maximizing firm produces zero output in the long run when the market price P is less than the minimum of its long run average cost LRAC. LRAC. If the firm's output level is Q1, the firm's total cost exceeds its revenue by an amount equal to the area of rectangle PEBA. Notice that the firm's total revenue (TR) at Q1 is the area of rectangle OPAQ1, the product of price and quantity, while the firm's total cost (TC) is the area of the rectangle OEBQ1, the product of average cost and quantity. Since the area of rectangle OEBQ1 is larger than the area of rectangle OPAQ1, the firm incurs a loss at the output level Q1, but in the long run setup, a firm that shuts down production has a profit of zero again. The firm chooses to exit in this case. The profit maximization problem graphical representation using the material in section 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Let us graphical representation represent a firm's profit. Geometric representation of profit maximization short run. ये शॉर्ट रन के हैं सारे. एस एम सी का ये कर्व बनेगा, एस एस सी का ऐसे बनेगा, ए बी सी का ऐसे बनेगा. गिवन मार्केट प्राइस पी, द आउटपुट लेवल ऑफ प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजिंग फर्म इज क्यू जीरो एट क्यू जीरो. The firm profit is equal to the area of rectangle EPAB. Maximization problem in the short run. Consider figure 4.6. Notice that the market price is P. Market price क्या हो जाएगा? Is equal to P. Equating the market price with the short run marginal cost, we obtain the output level Q0 at Q0. Observe that SMC slopes upwards and P exceeds AVC. Since the three conditions discussed in the section 3.1 to 3.3 are satisfied at Q0, we maintain that the profit maximizing output level of the firm is Q0. What happens at Q0? The total revenue of the firm at Q0 is the area of rectangle OPAQ, 0 the product of price and quantity, while the total cost at Q0 is the area of rectangle OEBQ0, the product of short run average cost and quantity. So at Q0, the firm earns a profit equal to the area of the rectangle EPAB. ठीक है. सप्लाई कर्व ऑफ अ फर्म, इसको अब करेंगे कल.